back, everybody. This is going to be our last video for the year. So we're going to take a break. We're going to start out the new season with a whole bunch of new ideas. Maybe some new different styles of filming, which won't affect you guys, but certainly will affect me. So I'm going to take this break and learn some new techniques and things like that, which I'm looking forward to. It's going to be a lot of fun. So what we're going to do just briefly today is we're just going to do a quick review of the year. This has been an unbelievable year for me. It's the first, we're almost at kind of the first full year of the channel. On the channel anniversary, we might do something a little bit special. I haven't quite decided yet. But the year for me has been starting from ground zero to now, where I think we have 100 subscribers, which was, for me, was pretty good. Obviously, as a content creator, you always want more subscribers, but that's a good place to start as far as I'm concerned. The views have been awesome. I wish that everybody that watched the videos was subscribed. That would make things a lot easier. But hey, some people don't like to subscribe. It's just one of those things. So I want to thank all of you for your participation in our little channel. And I sincerely hope that you have learned something which has helped you improve your fishing this year. Or maybe a new technique which you didn't know about before. We're going to have a cup of coffee together today, guys. This is not going to be a formal episode. This is more just a thank you to you guys and maybe a heads up for what's coming next year. You will notice that in the last video that I did this series, the one about the medium running crankbaits, I think it was, I alluded to it's important that you have systems in place to help you be more effective. Now, if you go way back to the first video, which would have been probably we started with the bass biology videos, and then we went into the basic fishing tackle, and now tackle and techniques. Guys, a lot of people are intimidated by bass fishing because they feel that there's just so much information to take in and so many different techniques, so many different rods and reels that are required, etc., etc. And I hope that we've shown this season how, with a very limited budget, you can get away with basically one rod and one reel for a lot of the techniques that we discuss. Yes, there are techniques that require specialized tackle, and yes, I have suggested different rods, etc., etc., in different episodes, but a lot of the techniques that we discussed could be done with a 7-foot medium heavy rod, either casting or spinning, and a reel, and then various line. The last episode, if you remember, you will notice that I said that it is almost critical that you have a specific type of rod, and I've really tried to stay away from that for as long as we could, because the name of this channel is Bass Fishing Basics. So I wanted to get the basics covered before we started talking about more specific stuff. We're kind of at the point now where we start getting into the more specialized is not the right word, but specialized techniques where it might require different types of rods or reels or tackle or whatever the case is. And I don't want you guys to be intimidated by that at all. If you continue with this sport, at some point you're going to have to evolve. If you are happy to have that one rod, go down to the pond, chuck a lure in, catch a bass, more power to you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, I wish I could do that every day. But if you are one of those people that has a thirst for knowledge and a thirst for learning, new techniques, new stuff about fishing, particularly bass fishing with our channel. And I always joke about it, he who dies with the most lures wins. And that's kind of half a joke, because once it starts to consume you, and even if you are a weekend warrior like I am and I was, even less so now, as you guys know, I only get to fish once a year, all that tackle tends to start piling up. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot worse things you could be spending your money on than fishing tackle. A lot worse things, particularly in the day and age that we live in now. What's coming up for next year? Be a little bit more of the same. I have a couple of ideas for some new series that we're going to look into, which will be more kind of specific stuff. We will bring everything that we've learned this season back into play again, refresh it. I may put clips in from videos that we've done this year and start looking at more dialed in stuff. You guys will notice that when I come to the map work, I've been very vague. Well, it may seem like I've been very vague, and that's deliberate. There's already a bunch of information to take in about the different techniques without piling on the map work and things like that. We may dive into that a little bit next year, how to actually read maps, whether they be electronic or paper. And a lot of guys poo-poo the paper maps. I'm here to tell you that there is nothing wrong with having a file with a bunch of paper maps in, particularly when you don't fish a lot of different lakes. If you have a home lake and say a couple of other lakes that you may fish, regardless of where you live in the world, having a paper map can sometimes mean the difference between a good day, and any fishing day is a good day, and a great day, just by doing a little bit of map work. A lot of guys see that as boring. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they don't understand the maps or whatever the case is. So we may do an episode or two next year of understanding topographical maps, how to read contour lines, how to look into them. And guys, most paper maps do not have that volume of information on them that it will mess you up when you're trying to learn how to read a map. When you start getting into digital maps, like on plotters and that kind of stuff, that's where it can get a little bit complicating. But with paper maps, as a starting point, it can be a great tool. And then on from that, there's a few more tackle and techniques videos that we need to look at. And then I've got some ideas for a couple of new things which we're not going to give away just yet. There was quite a nice response to the Make a Lure video. We might do a couple more of those. I haven't decided yet. If you guys are keen on that, stick it in the comments. Happy to do that kind of stuff. I love making lures. As you guys know, I either make or paint most of my own lures. So it's something that I do all of the time. There's not a whole lot else I can do here where I live in Scotland, other than make lures and look forward to my one fishing trip a year. So I make a lot of lures. This, to give you an example, over the last few weeks now, I have made enough lures to make up for, and I'm talking about soft plastic here, the last 3 years worth of trips that I've done over to the States. I have made enough lures to replace all of those lures that we used, that Fran and I used when I was over there. Not all of them, maybe there's some that I haven't replaced. I don't have the molds for everything, but I have the molds to cover enough. There's quite a big trip coming up next year. I'm not going to give it away too much, but it's going to be a good one. I don't know how much filming we're going to do. There's certainly going to be a lot of photos though. It may be the case of it's just going to be one of those trips where we just go and enjoy the fishing. And I know that is difficult, but as I've told you guys before, I am not a professional photographer. Fran did all the filming of this year's trip, and as I've said before, I'm super grateful to him. He gave up a lot of his fishing time to film me doing what I love. And that's a hard thing to do when you only see each other once a year. And he did it. So we may do something. I may try and rig something on poles on the boat or something like that. We'll see how we go. There's not a whole lot more that I want to say in this video other than thank you to all of you that have participated. Again, I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me, gives me validation, and makes me feel that I'm doing something where other people might be learning. It is a huge thrill for me to know that something I may have said has helped someone to catch a fish. More than you guys understand. It really does. You know, a lot of the time, the people don't know what they were put on this earth to do. And in this tiny little capacity and the ability that I have here, I've been very, very blessed with the fishing I've done in my life. Very blessed. And if somebody can have 1% of the joy that I've had from fishing just by learning something from one of my videos, I've done okay. It means a lot to me, guys. So all that's left to do now is to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. I hope that you all get to spend time with your families and remember the things that are important at Christmas time, which for my family in particular is spending time together. I wish I had my families I consider my best friends, my families from all around the world with me at Christmas, so I could get to spend it with them too, but we can't do that. But I wish I could. So I hope that you're all healthy and safe over the Christmas period. And for those of you that don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you enjoy your holidays, whatever you do. And I hope you have a safe and prosperous and healthy new year. And I hope to see you all again next year. Thank you guys for joining me, and we'll see you in 2026.